so furious with anyone in my entire life.
Please, come in.
You're proud of yourself, aren't you?
Usually. You'll have to be more specific.
Just enjoy it now, because there's one move that you are bitterly going to regret.
What have I done?
You convinced me to fire me.
Oh, strictly business, Captain.
All right, now, wherever I am, you find me. I want to know what's going on. Yeah, thanks.
Hey, boss.
What do you got?
Nothing good. All hell's breaking loose out there, Sean.
That's terrific. Just give me the details, then.
Well, we just got word Phil Kuzak's law office is where Hicks.
This lawyer, did he get out?
No, but he's alive, and that's by a hair.
Well, what's the situation over at General Hospital?
Things have settled down, thank God. Witnesses said 2 men were after Laura Spencer and her son, and we've got 1 fatality.
Who?
Thomas Campbell. Turns out he was Frank Smith's personal bodyguard for 6 years before Big Frank got sent up the river.
Any identification of the 2 that got away?
Yeah, we got one of them. Luke turned them over to hospital security. We're booking them right now.
All right, so what we've got is 1 dead bodyguard, 1 incarcerated thug, and 1 dead hitman.
You mean the guy with Luke at the docks, right?
Yeah, right. And what we really got, though, is a turf war between Garfield and Smith, and somehow the Spencers got caught in the middle of it. Any word from Laura Spencer yet?
Yeah, not yet.
What about Luke?
Right now, I don't know. But from the reports I got, you and Corinthos were right in the thick of things over at General Hospital.
That's just peachy. That's just peachy. You know, this is the 2nd time in a week that the mob has tried to take Luke out, and he still thinks he can go it alone, and that is dumb!
You are so beautiful. Can't you see you're everything that I hope for? You're everything I need. May?
Laura.
Oh, I'm so sorry to come over without calling first, but we're sort of in a little bit of trouble. We haven't brought it to your house, though. I wondered if we could maybe stay with you for a while.
You know you can come here.
Oh, good. This is my son, Lucky. This is Mrs. Ward. How do you do?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you, Lucky. And judging from that wide smile of yours, I know you're doing fine, too.
I'm getting better.
Where's your coat?
We had to leave the hospital in a real hurry.
Here. You put this around you until you warm up some. And I have some chamomile tea steeping. And how'd you like a cup of that?
Yes, please.
Laura?
Yes. Thank you, May.
Oh. Do you want to tell me about it, or do you want to go into the other room on the couch and catch your breath?
Mom, all right. It's just that this is the first that I felt safe.
Honey, that's what we're here for.
General Hospital, brought to you by Quaker Oat Life, the lightly sweet toasted oat cereal. Unless they're weird, your kids will eat it.
Lucky, this is Barry. And he's 8 months old, and he's the best baby in the world. Oh, nothing in the world feels better than holding an armload of dish. Look at him.
I know what you mean.
There you go. Oh, dear.
Actually, I haven't seen many babies.
Is that a fact?
But he's very cool. I think he likes you, Mom.
Oh, I like him.
I'll be right back.
Okay. What do they know at that age?
Oh, well, they know a lot more than you think. This is when they're learning some really important things, like hugs, smiles, and a nice, safe, warm feeling. Yes. And that's what Mamie is giving to these babies.
Lucky, this is Luana. There you go.
Do I really get to hold it?
Just like this. The important thing is to support her head, but you can't do that yet. That's good.
How many of these do you have?
Oh, enough to go around.
Mom, look, he's holding my finger. Oh, you're strong. Mm-hmm. You're very cute, too. Where did she come from?
She was abandoned. And we don't know why, except her mother must have been in some painful trouble. But she has a home now. And till I can find adoption for her.
Well, I hope you find a really good home for her.
We will.
What about Barry?
Now, Barry's a different story. Barry has a strong, beautiful mother who's trying to straighten out her life. And she found herself a job.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that good news? That's good news.
She comes to see him every day. And we're trying to find a place for them to live so that he can see her nights.
You know what that makes me think?
What?
I am really lucky.
Yes, you are.
I mean, these guys are lucky, too. I mean, because they're here and everything.
And and you have a mother and a father.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that even makes the wheelchair seem okay.
Your mother told me about the accident, but she said that you're going to be okay.
I will be, but... I mean, I was kind of scared.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's so weird. I mean, I'm used to my bike and my skateboard, and I mean, baseball's going to start soon. And this morning, Mom had to help me when I wanted to help her.
Well, nothing in this life happens. Nothing happens that we don't learn from.
I mean, what it's like being in a wheelchair all the time.
Hey, he's quick.
I've thought about that.
Well, think about this. Think about your good, strong legs, and think about chasing a long fly ball over fresh grass this spring. Think about standing on the pedals of your bicycle and leaning over the handlebars into the wind. And Lucky, make it happen.
I will.
Oh, do you want to see the rest of my baby?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's talking too. Yes, Barry. Yes.
Love you too, Mom.
Luke really has this Superman complex, doesn't he? Thinks he can take on Smith all by himself, thinks he can protect his family all on his own. Now, how can a guy who's been on the run from Frank Smith for 10 years still not have a clear picture of what he's up against? Now, that blows my mind.
Sean, you got to trust somebody before you ask for help. And it's obvious Luke Spencer trusts nobody but himself.
Oh, really? Well, that might just turn out to be his biggest mistake. Yeah. Where? What about our guys? Okay. Yeah, thanks. Two of our cars responded to a call on Evans Street. 4 guys were spotted coming out of the building in question. Gunfire was exchanged. Our guys were pinned down. The perps got away.
Anybody hit?
No, we're okay, but they found Joe Garfield and his first lieutenant dead in the basement.
You know, Garfield's been trying to muscle in on Smith's organization since the beginning of summer.
He must have been doing more than just trying. Or Smith wouldn't be willing to go to the streets.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Garfield's hit cripples his organization. His mob just might pack their bags and head back to Detroit.
Look, we cannot count on maybes here. We've got to find out if anyone's going to take over Garfield's spot so we can be ready. I want every man in this department mobilized, and you set up a rotation.
Okay.
Oh, and Garcia.
Yeah?
Put out an APB on Luke Spencer. I want him brought in before he disappears on us again.
Okay. Fantastic. What? Frank's boys got Garfield and a second in command. Word is Garfield's people are out and back to Detroit.
Yeah, that's good news, if it's true.
Okay, I'm gonna go tell Frank. Where are you headed?
What do you think? My wife and kid don't know if I'm dead or alive.
Okay, listen, I know Garfield's gone and the worst is probably behind you, but I still think you should lay low for a little while, you know?
Right, and what about you?
Oh, I'll be fine.
Hey.
Be careful.
Yeah, you too. Sonny. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Luke Spencer?
Yeah, he just got on the elevator. He's heading for the 10th floor. Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
Hang on, Spitzer. We have instructions to bring you in.
On what charge?
No charges, protective custody. Commissioner Donnelly's direct order.
Let me tell you what Donnelly can do with his protective custody.
Sorry, pal.
Hey, whoa, I don't even know that you're cops. These look like Halloween costumes to me. You could be on anybody's payroll.
All right.
Don't mean a thing. I could whip a couple of those up in 20 minutes.
Look, we're going, and you're coming with us.
Look, do you know how many people disappear from protective custody every year? I ain't going. I ain't going.
Oh, yes, you are.
I ain't going. I ain't.
And that's what happened.
You have confirmation on that.
Garfield, and at last count, 3 of his top men are having a slumber party in the city morgue. What's left of his organization is on his way back to Detroit with their tails between their legs.
And the bad news?
One, the guy you put on Laura Spencer, he's gone.
Tommy.
Yeah, I guess so. Cusack's holding his own.
Laura and the boy?
She swiped an ambulance and got him out of there.
What about Luke?
He's on his way to meet them.
Do you know where they are?
No, she got a hold of them on ambulance radio. He understands where she's headed. How about you? Are you safe?
I'm fine, but I got a problem. Garfield's people are going back to Detroit. That's fine. Give us a little breathing room before they regroup. But that doesn't mean there aren't some wise guys out on the street with some ideas of their own. Now, I know you and Luke can take care of yourselves. I'm worried about Damien. He's outside the circle. I doubt if he has any idea what's going on, which means he's an easy target. Now, pay him a visit. Tell him I'm sorry for the inconvenience, but he's got a bodyguard. You. For the time being. Okay? All right.
What did you say to Ned to convince him to let me go?
The truth. I reminded him you aren't to be trusted.
He knows what happened with Scott. We discussed it. It had to be something more than that.
But you're forgetting Catherine is major shareholder in ELQ. Ned has to listen to me. Now, he might be willing to take a chance and hire you, but unless I concur, it doesn't count. How could I, in all good conscience, allow you to become part of ELQ's policy making, knowing what I know about you?
We had a bargain, and I honored it.
Honored?
I kept your little secrets. I left you alone. How dare you turn around and stab me in the back?
Oh, quit the innocent act. The Quartermains found out that I'm Frank Smith's son at the worst possible moment, and I know who slipped them the information.
I did not tell anyone anything.
I haven't forgotten what an impressive liar you are. Baldwin may have bought your routine, but I don't.
Ah, That's what it is. It all comes back to Scott. Because your fragile ego can't take the fact that I would choose him over you.
Yeah, well, look what it's gotten you.
You know, you seem to be missing the point here. Everybody knows what I did. I don't have millions of dollars at stake here. I don't have any more secrets.
We all have secrets, Catherine.
None that this town would be interested in. And I will just bet that you're just about convinced, Ned, that you were absolutely right in not telling who your father was. Am I right? I thought so. You see, I haven't forgotten what a good liar you are either.
It was the right thing to do.
And tampering with ELQ's water supply? Was that the right thing to do? I played it straight with you, Damien, and you didn't with me. And you are going to regret it.
You are so good to me. Oh, I wish you would have been here. We had such fun together.
Well, I thought you were having fun with Scott Baldwin.
Oh, please. So sad and serious. He loved Dominique desperately. He's a nice guy. I felt sorry for him.
Well, you were separating him from $250,000.
That money was mine, not his.
Oh, I know that. Do you know how you're going to spend it?
No.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Well, when we get back to New York, you take a discrete amount for play money. And then you divide the rest. We'll put half in an unnumbered Cayman savings account, and then take the other half to an investment banker. I've got some recommendations.
It sounds sensible, but I don't think I'm ready to leave Port Charles quite yet.
What do you mean?
I've been doing a little thinking, and I think I might have a little more business here than I thought.
When I realized how much I wanted this marriage, I was as surprised as you are.
I'm not surprised. Now, why settle for half the booty when you can get the whole $200 million? Have one less man, me, to share it with. It was a good move, business-wise.
It wasn't a business decision, and this isn't easy for me.
Of course not. You're suffering so beautifully.
Damien, I never wanted to hurt you. I never imagined that I would be saying this. I had fallen in love with Scott. It must have happened over the past few weeks, and I didn't recognize it.
Why would you? Love's not an emotion you're all that familiar with. Not like deceit, greed, and maliciousness. You're not in love with Scott. I don't care how hard you try to talk yourself into it.
You don't know that.
Yeah, it's too good. And too boring to hold your attention for longer than a weekend, unless it's sex. That's it, isn't it? Sex is dynamite.
I'm not going to discuss this with you. Look, I know that you were angry with me. And that's not what I wanted.
That'll never do. We must give Catherine what she wants.
I wanted us to part friends.
Friends? A real friend would run to Scott Baldwin and warn him about what he's getting into. Not that I don't love the image of you cleaning dirty diapers.
You won't go to Scott.
Why not?
Because I could just as easily go to Edward Corrigan and tell him that his new partner at ELQ has compromised a few environmental tests.
Looks like we're stuck.
I was hoping you'd see it that way.
You're incredible. Really an inspiration. Just don't ever kid yourself into parting as friends.
he is.
I have high hopes for him and his mother. Look, honey, if you and Lucky want to stay a while, I got a spare bedroom upstairs you can stay in.
Oh, thank you, May, but we're going to be all right, really. I wish that I could tell you about this, but I can't. You see, Luke and I have been having some problems for a while now, and we're trying to work it out, and it'll be resolved one way or the other very soon.
Well, just so long as you know that I'm here for you, that's all.
Well, I think that's why we landed on your doorstep.
Good.
Simone and I had to leave so quickly the other day, and you were just about to tell us more about your family and our house, and you were showing me some picture here.
Oh, yes. My husband, Daniel Ward, and Bradley, and David, and our daughter, Edith, on the porch. Yes, let me see. Bradley was about 12 years old there, so this is the summer of 1957.
And he grew up to be a minister and a state assemblyman?
And the husband and the father. Isabella and their children came to live with me in your house when Bradley went to Albany. And they stayed for some years after that.
Did they have a dog with spots?
Her name was Polly. And she finally went to Philadelphia with my daughter-in-law and her 2 babies. Oh, that dog lived to be 16 years of age.
We found a child's drawing of her. It was in the corner cabinet.
That's my grandson, Justice. Boy, that child loved to paint and draw.
Where is he now?
Well, he's in Philadelphia practicing law, and he comes up to see me a couple of times a year. And, girl, I have grandchildren all over the place.
You must feel so fortunate.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
May I ask how your son Bradley died?
I really can't answer that. I can't answer that because I truly don't know. He just disappeared.
What?
Bradley came down from Albany late June. And Isabel and the babies had gone to Philadelphia to stay with her mother. And he was planning to drive down on the 4th of July. So he came to see me. He sat on the porch. We talked through the night. Then he walked down the steps into the soft June mist. Nobody's seen him since.
You know, Luke is the key to this thing. Because I'm totally convinced that so-called mugging on the docks was an intended hit on Luke. I also think that he knows what's escalating this war between Garfield and Smith.
Sean, my guess is he won't be intimidated being dragged into your police station or the police commissioner's office. No offense, boss.
All right.
And he won't tell us anything we don't already know.
Oh, get that, will you?
Yeah, Garcia here. What? All of them? Looks like Garfield's boys are packing up and slinking back to Detroit.
Good. Who have you got on the phone?
Morrison.
Tell him to keep his men in place. I want to make sure that Garfield's people get out of town.
Yeah, Brian. The boss wants you to hang in there until you're sure they're all gone. Right. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Let's hope that's one less problem we have to worry about.
Yeah, amen.
Right, Donnelly, what the hell do you think you're doing? What's the matter with you? If you want to keep me safe, you don't parade me through the streets of town in a marked police car.
Shut up. You two can go.
Thanks for the lift. And thank you for the ride.
You're not going anywhere, not until you tell me what you know about Frank Smith.
That's easy. Nothing.
Oh, really? Then why is it wherever you go these days, dead people turn up?
Luck.
I don't think so.
You have no right to hold me,
I
Commissioner.
have every right in the world to hold you for questioning up to 24 hours, and you know it.
Fine. You questioned, I answered.
not sufficiently enough for me. You're under suspicion for associating with Frank Smith's organization.
Under suspicion? That means you got no proof. And you ought to know by now that if I knew anything, I wouldn't tell you.
You know, just how thick is your skull these days? I'm trying to help you.
Well, then let me get out of here and get to somewhere where I can take care of my family.
You know where they are.
Yeah, I know where they are. I know where I'm supposed to be, and it ain't here.
Then I really don't understand why you would put them in jeopardy just to feed your inflated ego. You need help, and you need protection.
No! The last time, no. This discussion is history. Get out of the way.
You got to talk to the man.
You want to arrest me, arrest me. Otherwise, let me go. If anything happens to my wife or kid, because I'm here in your protective custody, I'm holding you personally responsible.
Is that a threat?
You ought to know me better than that by now, Sean.
Hey, look, you can blame me, you can blame Garcia, you can blame Mickey Mouse. Doesn't matter. Because if your family is in danger, as you say, you're the only one responsible. You are the only one to blame and no one else. Let him go.
No tails.
What do you think of it? Oh, by the way, Luke, smarten up. Because I really don't think you know what you're doing.
Mr. Quatermain?
Catherine, come in. Come in, my dear.
Thank you. I know I should have called before I came.
Well, nonsense. I'm delighted to see you.
Well, it's presumptuous of me, really, but, I mean, I think it's probably too late already anyway, but I didn't know where else to turn.
Oh, my dear, tell me what's happened. How can I help you?
Well, I don't think you can, really. You see, Damien has taken me off the ELQ account. I've been fired. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't be bothering you.
It's no bother, and I am outraged at Damien. But then I usually am on general principles here. Now, sit down. Sit down. All right, now let's hear it. Why would that blackguard want to have you fired?
Well, I have made some mistakes, Edward.
In your work?
No, my work has always been fine. In fact, Ned loves my proposal. It's personal. You know that I was engaged to Scott Baldwin, don't you?
This is a small town, yeah.
Well, everything you heard is probably true. I wasn't honest with Scott about being Dominique's half-sister.
Or that what you really were after was his fortune, hmm?
Only in the beginning. I fell in love with Scott, and after a while, the money didn't mean anything. It wasn't important.
Oh, money is always important.
You see, Mac ran some DNA tests. I would have taken that route, but I thought, it was way too late for that to work.
What were the results?
Well, they said that I could be Avery's daughter, and they didn't say that I wasn't. And that's about as conclusive as those kind of tests get. But it did reinforce what my mother said to me on her deathbed. That Avery was her lover, and I was his child. Not that it matters much now, anyway.
Well, you never know.
I've paid for my mistakes, Edward. I've lost Scott. I'll never see a penny of my father's money. And now I've lost my job, which seems so wrong, because I don't see that what happened with Scott should have anything to do with my ability to do a good job for Ned and Damien.
No, I agree. And let me tell you something about our friend Damien.
What?
He is sadly lacking in judgment. A conclusion confirmed by his severing connection with you.
Thank you.
You know, but unfortunately, times have changed, and I no longer have enough control over ELQ or my grandson to insist that he reinstate you.
And Damien suddenly owning all those shares must really upset the balance.
Oh, that, my dear, is an understatement. And I'm really sorry that I'm not able to help you.
Oh, no, you have helped me by just listening and understanding. I feel worlds better.
Well, at least the old man is still good for something.
Oh, you're not old.
Well, how about that? Now then, we both feel better, huh?
Yes. Well, I will see you at the meeting tomorrow. I promised Ned that I would do the presentation of my plan, and I am being paid well, and a deal is a deal.
Oh, I like that attitude. And I am looking forward to to your presentation.
Yes, well, I do have one more little tiny question about tomorrow's meeting.
Would you just listen to me for 1 minute?
A minute's too long.
Give me a break, will you? Your father sent me to make sure you're all right.
Why wouldn't I be?
Yeah, he was right.
About what?
No, he just said that you wouldn't have a clue as to what's been going on. There's a mob war going on out there.
What?
He sends his apologies for the inconvenience, but he assigned me to make sure you stay alive.
My father started a mob war when?
It's a long story.
I'm right in the middle of some very delicate business negotiations, and my father instigates a mob war. Perfect. Family name's gonna end up plastered on every television set and newspaper. Just what I need.
Okay, that's enough.
Get out of here, Sonny.
There are people out there risking their lives out of loyalty to your father.
I want you out
They're
now, Sonny.
dying, and you're in here moaning and groaning about what? Negotiations?
I set you up with Luke Spencer so I wouldn't have to have a contact with you or any of my father's other understanding lackeys.
Well, let me tell you something, Damien. That was a good move on your part. Spencer's almost been dead twice. It could have been you. Now, are you going to listen to me when I tell you you need your father's protection?
Mimi, how could that have happened? How could somebody like Bradley just disappear? And why?
There were reasons. Bradley stirred things up in the Port Charles community. I mean, he lit a fire under some important people.
Who?
Well, he was pastor of the Mount Zion Church, which is still my church, and helped support Bradley House. And there were things that needed to be done in the community, and Bradley did them. In those days, the banks were redlining, and the people that lived and worked in the community of Charles Street weren't able to get loans, weren't able to get mortgages, and he organized the community. And then he ran for state assembly, and he won. And there were people in the very same community, in the same neighborhood, who were on the take and closing their eyes to what was going on, who didn't like that. And, I mean, he kept at it. And he was pressuring the school board for fair redistricting and pushing for school programs and for job programs and daycare. And he got things done. And he made enemies.
Are you saying that you think he was murdered?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he disappeared.
Without a trace? I mean, was there some kind of a police investigation?
Well, in some fashion there was, but there was no evidence, nothing. And so they gave up the investigation. They stopped.
You must have been so angry.
Oh, yes, I was. With Bradley gone, I reached another level of anger. Anger was not enough. You understand that?
I think I do. Is that why you left your house?
Well, after my husband died, we owned that house free and clear. And when Bradley decided to run for the assembly, I took out a mortgage at the bank. And every cent that came out of there went into his campaign, and it still wasn't enough to cover the work that had to be done. And then when Bradley disappeared, the bank foreclosed us. And had to give it up.
It's a shame.
Maybe it was time. My daughter-in-law took Justice and Faith down to Philadelphia to live with her relatives, and my youngest son helped me buy this place.
And you filled it with babies.
I did indeed. And now that old house is yours, and it's filled with happiness, and that's a joy.
For me, too. Did Lucky ask you about his room?
He did. And I told him it was Bradley's room.
Really?
Yes. And David was across the hall, and Edith next to him. And Lucky's got it straight, believe me.
I really hope that you will come and visit us there.
Oh, I will, I promise.
Mamie, Virginia needs you in the back. She said the thermostat's off.
I hope I live long enough to see a new furnace in this house. Come on, Dexter. Come on, yes. And Ramsey, come on, let's go see about this heat. No, come on with me. We're going to check out the heat. See you later.
Wow.
She's really something, isn't she?
Very, very cool. Yeah. I like it here, Mom.
Oh, so do I.
Are you all right?
I am much better. What about you?
Well, I was back there with the little kids, and I forgot about everything. The man in the stairwell, and it's great.
And she told you about your room?
Yeah. She told her that her older son lived in there, and she showed me a picture of him. I love all these pictures.
Yeah, me too. They're nice, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's here looking for you.
What? Oh, Luke. Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, cowboy?
Oh, well, I sure called that one wrong.
Maybe. This is my husband, Luke Spencer. Mary May Ward.
Very, very pleased to meet you.
Mrs. Ward, this is not the first time a house of yours has sheltered my family. Thank you.
Mamie, and you're very welcome. Lucky.
Yeah.
Dexter's been hollering for another ride on that wheelchair. Time to leave your parents alone for a minute.
Well, I promised him and Ramsey 2 turns.
You know where to find us.
Thank you. Who were they?
They were sent by Garfield, but it's over. I should have never left you alone.
Well, what does it mean? I mean, where do we go? What do we do?
It all came down between Frank and Garfield's men. According to Sonny, we're out of the middle. Garfield was smoked. So, at least for now, this part of the game is over.
Does this mean that we can stay in Port Charles? Can we go back to our house? What?
Well, yeah, we'll go home. And we'll secure the house. And I'll spend a few sleepless nights. And then we have a decision to make. You know what the stakes are. Do we stick it out here and do what we came to do? Or do we take off again? Just don't answer that right now. Let's just think about it. And think hard about it, because this time, once the decision is made, that's it.
Listen very carefully. I appreciate your concern. But for lack of a better phrase, screw you and screw your protection. I have too much at stake right now to have any connection whatsoever with my father, let alone a mobster bodyguard.
So you'd rather risk being nailed by a well-placed bullet?
No, I wouldn't. But you see, I've been placed in a no-win situation by dear old Dad. I've made my choice. I'll call hotel security.
Oh, I'm leaving. But, like it or not, I'm keeping an eye on you. I have my orders.
I know that the board was split on Damon's proposal.
Oh, no, we weren't split. I prevailed. But you're right. It was a little too close for comfort.
And how do you think this meeting's going to go?
You tell me. I'm sure you know much better than I what Ned and Damien have up their collective sleeves.
Well, no, I'm afraid I don't, but I do know my plan inside and out, and I guess you could consider that up their sleeves.
Well, if you are going to argue their points for them, then it could be close. But if Ned and Damien have managed to get Lucy Coe to cast her votes in their favor, we could have a tie on our hands.
How is she involved in all this?
Well, Scott signed over his ELQ shares to her before he left town.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yes, and her vote could be pivotal. Now, if my grandson could see far enough past the end of his greedy nose, he would see how empty Damien's promises of corporate profit are. And then our problems would all be solved.
Well, I wouldn't blame Ned. I've seen Damien work, and he can be pretty convincing.
That's true. You know that he nearly pulled my Lila into his grandiose plans, and she is probably the clearest thinker of all of us. Well, at any rate, it's going to be an interesting meeting, so you should wear your armor, because the stones will be flying.
Oh, I can't wait. And I think that Damien will be in for a big surprise.
Mm-hmm.